the producer. We're back. We're here in Drive Safe Dave. We have a phenomenal show today. We have a repeat guest, and I tell you, it's tough to believe somebody would come back to here again.
Well, you know, once they've met us, they can't stay away. It's just like a magnetic attraction coming back every time for a little bit more of what we got going on right here.
All right, road work ahead. We got the sign. You see it right here first on BCB Live. Drive Safe Dave, tell us a little bit about that sign.
Slow down. Slow down. You got people up ahead. Give them the break they need. You know what I mean? Out there on the road, make sure that when you enter into those construction zones, you are aware of what's going on out there. Slow down. Give them the courtesy that is needed. You know, you got traffic changing patterns. You got people walking around working. You got big equipment. You got trucks pulling in and out. You've got all these things going on, and most of all, you generally have a restricted pattern of traffic that causes a slowdown anyway. Give them the space they need, the respect that they deserve out there trying to make this going on. And with the new money that's coming in, and an influx of money that's going to come in, you're going to see a lot more of these signs out there.
There's going to be a ton. We've seen that, and we just had some more money released again, right, on this infrastructure, on the bridges and the highways. And I know you all are out there. You see it. You're like, amen, thank goodness. But here's the deal. It doesn't happen overnight.
No.
It takes a day or two to get them roads fixed. I mean, let's face it. How long did it take to get the bridge fixed over there in Mississippi?
Memphis. I think it took 4 months.
Yeah. So expect a lot of delays and just get your patience, right? We talk about packing your patience. Remind you to pack your patience. Have it ready to go because, boy, when you get in that traffic, when you get in them work zones, you've got to protect those lives out there, which means you've got to have patience and you've got to be the leaders, the kings and the queens of that highway to control that traffic behind you. Drive Safe Day, we have a big Friday ahead of us. It's a $200 phrase that pays. And you know what? I was thinking maybe there's a way to get you involved to increase that. What if there was a way to double that for this Friday? And Drive Safe Dave, I just named it just a little bit ago. I'm thinking we call it Fun with Drive Safe Dave because we all know you know it all. And here we go, Dave. You've got the opportunity right now.
Come on. Let's
this
see.
is unscripted. You have got the opportunity to double that phrase that pays winning. All you have to do is name these abbreviations. It could be a state. It could be a company name. I'll lead you to the right direction. I'll give you that abbreviation. All you have to do is get 9 out of 10, and that winner on Friday, we're going to double it. It's going to go to 400.
Are they acronyms?
They're acronyms. There you go. Acronyms or an abbreviation.
Okay.
All right. So, and I'm going to give you one pass.
Okay.
And then there's even one I have in here that said, there's no chance Drive Safe Dave will get this one. And if you get that one, that's like a bonus one. All right.
All
right. Here we go. We're going to start it off with the GOP.
The Republican National Party.
No. What does the GOP stand for?
It stands for.
Oh, come on. I figured this would be the one you'd get right off the get. You get one pass.
Okay, pass.
Oh, gosh. I knew it. For those of you that know Drive Safe Dave, just know that he'll probably know this one. CNN. CNN.
That's the community news network.
You only get one pass. I mean, this is the all. So, hey, producer. So yesterday, Drive Safe. Hold on a second. So yesterday, Drive Safe Dave is in the conference room, and we're having a discussion. I'm gonna go with discussion in which we're bringing up Veracruz. And I said, that's a state. We're talking about Mexico. No, it's not either. It's not one of the 11 states. And he went, boom, 11 states. He goes, I know my countries. I know my geography. I look it up, and there's 35 states in Mexico. He's like, there's either 11 or 15.
Okay, this actually started in an argument. This actually started in an
discussion.
argument.
We call it discussion.
This actually started in a discussion about the Mexican-American War, about Winfield Scott landing in Veracruz. He was like, we never landed in Mexico. I'm like, yeah, we did. We invaded Mexico and took the capital. He's like, no, we didn't. I go, it was in Veracruz. And he goes, it couldn't be in Veracruz. That's an entire state. I said, it's also a city, and it's on the coast, and that's where we landed.
pretty sure it didn't go like that. But Drive Safe Dave, I'm going to tell you, you let me down on this.
Okay, come on, give me another one.
There's only, you're 0 for 2.
Okay, give me another one.
All right, here, I'm going to give you the bonus one because
Okay,
there's no reason to go if you can't get it.
okay,
If you
give me
get the
that one.
bonus one, this is worth 2 points. We'll get it. We'll get it back on. All right, here we go.
Grand old party. Shit.
Affleck.
Affleck.
Affleck. Producer, do you know it? You can't look it up.
No, that's.
Does anybody out there know it? Am I the only one that knows these abbreviations? These, or whatever they're called. So it's the American Family Life Assurance.
You're reading it and you don't even know it.
I'm not either. I was trying to think real quick of Columbus.
Family Life.
It
American
matter.
Family
You're
Life.
0 for
Okay, I don't know
you
that
know
one
what?
either.
I can tell you who probably knows it, and that's our buddy Corey with No Cell Technologies. We're going to get to Corey in a second, but before we get to Corey, we have a video on No Cell Technology. Well, welcome back to BCB Live at Drive Safe Dave. You know what? We're going to give him a better introduction than we did last time. Last time Corey was on the show, I called him Mike, I think.
Or Steve. I can't remember.
Or somebody like that. Hey, but without further ado, we're going to welcome Corey from No Cell. Hey, Corey, I'm not going to take a stab at your last name again. Still not ready for that.
That's fine. Well, good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Man, it's our pleasure. Corey, I'm looking at it. I see director. Did something change since the last time we spoke?
They bumped me up to the director of business development, and now I'm in charge of all the sales. So that's why I get to hang out with guys like you.
You know that, right, Corey?
What's that?
That means you also get the blame when sales aren't good. You realize that, right?
100%. Yep, absolutely. I'm in the crosshairs the entire time.
All right. Hey, Corey, talk to us a little bit. I know you were on the show about 6 months ago. Hey, give us an overview again. I know we saw the video of what No Cell Technology is for our new viewers.
No Cell Technology is the leader in proactive anti-distracted driving technology. And we've got a solution that's a piece of hardware, an app, and a portal that allows the fleet managers to authorize the apps that you want the drivers to have access to while they're driving, while the vehicle's in motion. Basically, it takes away all the distractions, the TikToks and the Netflix and the CDL Life and all those different apps that could be a distraction to the driver. We're trying to get the drivers home safely every night.
Gotcha. Hey, Corey, so how bad is it today when we talk about distracted driving?
It is only getting worse every single day. I took a trip recently from Los Angeles to Vegas to go to the CES show. And on the way, my intern was in the car, and we counted 73 drivers of commercial vehicles that were on their phone in a 3.5 hour span. So, I mean, it is only getting worse every single day.
Hey, I was going to ask you real quick, Corey. What kind of success have you seen as far as in the numbers when you put this your thing into action? Right, like you got numbers prior and then you got numbers after. What are you looking at? What kind of success are you seeing?
The success right off the bat is the phone handling alerts go down just over 70% after 10 days of use. So the drivers are training themselves that they can't get to the app, so they stop reaching for the phone. They stop picking up that phone and touching it. We're still working on our case studies for year over year. It was a little bit skewed last year with the drivers on the road, but they took their COVID couch habits with them for the phone. So they were touching the phone 88 times an hour during COVID, and they brought that into the cab with them. So
Yes.
we're trying to work against that.
And some numbers that I would say on that same thing, Corey, I'd be curious on, and I know it's a later on thing, but if you take the, from a fleet out there today, from a safety perspective, I'd be curious from that fleet if once they implemented the no-cell technologies, how many following too close alerts? How did they go down? How did the driving too fast go down? How did the erratic driving? How did all of that also change when they had your technology implemented?
Yeah, I don't have those numbers with that's part of the case study, but the next time I'm on the show, probably be in your studio next time, and we'll share those the results of those. That's a great question, and it would. I'm guessing that they'll go down dramatically. The emergency braking or the swerving or the hard accelerating, all those things will change because they're not looking at that phone and then coming up on people.
Yeah, and that's drive safe. When we think about that part, that's the safety directors that are out there working for them companies. Those are the folks that are going to see all of a sudden maybe their jobs are getting a little easier. Maybe the drivers in their mind all of a sudden are getting better, and I don't mean they're better, but they're just less distracted because, Corey, when we talk about the cell phones, we talk about the distractions, we talk about all of that, the habit of picking up the phone. I mean, man, it is real and it is dangerous out there for a four-wheeler or for these big trucks.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're in the big trucks or if they're a pharmaceutical rep or if they're they're just in a regular sedan. Anytime you look down at the cell phone, you take your eyes off the road and you've covered distance that you can't account for. And there's so many things that can happen in just looking down for that brief moment, 4 seconds or whatever, and you've already covered 90 yards. So
I have a
that's
question
more
for
than
you.
the Cowboys last week. But
Hey, Corey, if you get a chance, when you let us know how the reaction is of the drivers once you've implemented this and they start to relearn how to work. What's kind of some of your feedback you're getting from the drivers' perspectives that you're dealing with on a regular basis? Because that ultimately that's who you're you're giving it to. I'd like to know how their reaction is after they learn it and after they start using it.
So it's a great question. So the drivers that we're working with directly, at first, there's a lot of pushback, but as soon as they get it in the cab and they have it for 2 weeks or so, and they realize that there's no buzzes, beeps, or dings to distract them, the drivers that I've talked to have loved it, have sold it internally, and they were like, it's so much less stress in the cab because you basically remove the slot machine from the cab with all the noises and the buzzes and all the alerts. So they have a lot less stress in the cab. They have enough stuff going on with all the other technology that they're loving it. That it's not as a distraction with the phone.
Yeah, I know that's super great that it's taken away from that stress, of knowing that you got to reach over there and touch it, or you got to reach over there and you just got to let it go, right? And I think that's great. It's really interesting, especially when you say they're selling it, right? You're saying that the drivers are selling it, and that's really, I think, ultimately what's got to happen here, right? Ultimately the end user has to be the one that goes, you know what? Not only do I need this, I need everybody to need it.
Right. And I think what happens in the drivers that we've talked to is when they don't have the distraction of the phone, they start seeing that there's other, drivers on the road that are distracted. So they start seeing all the different swerves and hard brakes and all that stuff because of the phone. You go by somebody and they're all of a sudden they're jamming on the brakes, and you look over and they're on their phone. You see the phone just going down, or it is a huge distraction.
I was just gonna, and I know you've got some things about it, but and I was looking at some of the technology. Does it? I know you can add and subtract, and you can tell. Does that limit the hands-free driving we use of the phone or not?
I mean, it's in compliance. I mean, it's really for the companies to enforce their cell phone policy, right? So if they say, hey, you're hands-free, just like FMCSA, hands-free one touch. This will make sure that the companies are in compliance, the drivers are compliant with that cell phone policy.
Hey, Corey, on the website you talk about, I think it's on one of your videos as well, the seamless with the in-cab telematics and the cameras. What is that? When you say that works seamless with that, what are you referring to on that?
But our solution is a self-contained, self-powered solution. So it doesn't plug into the ODB2 port. It's not hardwired. So it doesn't conflict with any other technology that's in the vehicle whatsoever. Any of your inward, outward facing cameras, the ELD, telematics, GPS, this plays well with others the entire time.
Gotcha. Hey, Corey, I do have a question for you here. So, and I've had that question asked me before when it comes to certain subjects, but for you, hey, why this? I mean, you could do anything you wanted to right now. You can go out and sell anything. Hey, why sell no cell and distracted driving? Is it personal to you? What is your why for going out and selling this technology?
Well, I mean, it's the story behind the company. Let me just fill that in first. Is the owner of the company has 7 kids, and when his 2 oldest kids were in high school, there was a horrific texting and driving accident, and he's like, nope, this is going to end with me. This is going to be my passion, and we're going to solve distracted driving. After I met him and heard his story, and then I started talking to different companies out there. Every single company, whether it's the big rigs or it's a pharmaceutical company or whatever, every single company has a horrific story about, hey, this driver was the best driver we ever had, and all of a sudden he looked down for 1 second and he T-boned a minivan or something like that. So I just got tired of the horrific stories, and to work for a company that has the passion to save lives and potentially save lives every single day. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Build a company and I mean, we want to get these drivers home every single night. I mean, our motto is we get up early, obviously, for a 5 a.m. call, to make sure that the drivers get home safe every night. So, I mean, it's the best of both worlds for us.
Man, I love that. I love that passion behind that. It's that same passion that drives us to the BCB Live. It's about saving lives. Corey, for companies out there that have 2, 3, 1,000 trucks, 10 trucks, do you have just try it out? Can they start it out with just a sampling 3, 4, 20 units, or is it like an all or none?
No, you call me up, or you contact the office. We've got a pilot program. We'll walk you through the install and get you going. You try it for 15 days so that you can understand the technology. Doesn't cost you a thing. We send out a 4-pack of no cell tags, get you up and running, and then we want you to try it. We are flexible. We are all about getting installs, because every install we get is potentially saving a life of that driver, of that the general public going to work at whatever o'clock in the morning, so that they don't get hit, they don't get crushed because of a driver that's on their phone.
Wow, BCB Live, I can tell you we're looking for a company like you to get behind and really push, because we need help in saving lives out there. Corey, we talk about the hashtag In the Street Texas, and it's not just the truck, it's the cars, it's the vehicles. When you have gone over 21 years now with a fatality on a Texas road, we've got to do something to change. It's not going to happen on its own. I'm going to tell you this right now. I will get on the phone. We're done with this. We'll take 5 at least. We're going to jump in, and we're going to get firsthand opportunity with 5 of our listeners right now. Put us down for that, because I want to see it work. I want to understand it and drive safe, Dave. I want to make a difference like No Cell Technologies is in making a difference against distracted driving.
You know, we have a chance here to put it right where it is, and if we implement it here, we implement it in a way with one of our listeners to make a difference, we can change it right now. And I truly believe what you're doing is going to make a difference in the long term. I'm curious, do you have not just fleet applications, do you have individual applications?
For the independent contractor,
yeah,
right?
for the independent contractor who just has one truck, right, that wants to do something like that himself.
I love that. We'll do one truck, no problem. All we want to do is save one more life every single day. We want to get installs every single day. If it's an independent guy, owner operator, and he wants to put it in his truck, great. We'll send one out. We'll get him set up. It's going to cost them, a cup of coffee a month or whatever. I mean, it's not cost prohibitive, but it sure can make a difference. That's what I've learned.
All right, so if you're a listener right now out there on BCB Live, raise your hand, put something to the producer. Let me know that you're all in. And you know what? We're going to work with you on this together. We're going to get that technology to you because your life is worth it today. We want you to spread that news as well about NoSec Technologies. Producer, you got a question?
Well, we do have a comment here from Alan Arnold saying that he'll volunteer and he'll come in for it.
Bam!
There you go. You already got.
There you go, right
Love
there.
it, man.
We
Love
got
it.
Alan's in, Alan's on, and Alan's getting one of the no-cell devices put in his truck to see how it works. We're going to get some feedback. We're going to get this done. We're going to offer, and we're going to come back to you, and we're going to look at some of the things that you're talking about, that we've talked about on the show today. What a great opportunity to spread the word, get it out, and we're going to have you back on with more info.
For sure. Hey, Corey, we're running out of time. I want you to go ahead and close it out with anything else you want us to know. And then you've got to close it out with BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Corey, talk to us.
You know what? One install at a time. We're trying to save lives one install at a time. BCB Live, man. We are the safest station in the nation.
Bam! Talk to you later, Corey. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody. It's Drive Safe Dave here with BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. As you know, winter is upon us, and with winter comes some difficulties and challenges. Now, if you live below or running below that 20 or I-10 corridor, you may not feel that pressure, but if you do, let's talk about a few little tips that we have. Tip number one, let's make sure we get over here and we drain these air tanks. Let's get that moisture out of there so that we make sure, because moisture and freezing cold temperatures don't mix. All they make is ice. Tip number two, remember when air temperature drops, so does pressure in these tires. You want to make sure that when you enter into or near cold temperatures, you make sure that your tire pressure is and cold pressure stays correct throughout these cold temperatures. You want to be safe out there because this is where the rubber meets the road. Tip number three, if it's extreme weather and extreme cold conditions, you may want to make sure that you use an anticoagulant or an anti-gel inside the diesel fuel so that it thins and doesn't gel up on you in the lines or anywhere else. Tip number four, as you know, when you enter into the West, there are certain regions that require you to have snow chains and or snow socks in that region. Make sure that you carry them. And tip number five, I'm going to give this one to you as a freebie. Carry with you a little bit of cat litter in your truck. That way, if you get a little bit stuck or if you get near a region that doesn't have a lot of grip, you can throw that down and give your truck that needed oomph to get out of those sticky or slippery situations. For more pertinent and safety information, you can always tune in Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time between 7 and 8 a.m. and get that needed information on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Hey, welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. Drive safe, Dave. You know, there's something about Corey. Boy, he gets that energy going. But you know what's real about Corey?
Pumping up safety.
Let me tell you something. He has a passion for saving lives. You know, one install at a time. And it's so true is that, man, think about that one simple install, Drive Safe, Dave. An install with a driver that's moving 3,000, 2,500 miles a week. How many lives, how many potential lives that's saving off of one install?
If it's one life they save, it's worth every penny, every opportunity, and that's great. You know, one install at a time is basically saying one life saved at every time you put one in there. I mean, that's a great chance, great opportunity, and the passion is there, especially for us too. I mean, that you get you fired up. You got fired up, right?
Well, I'm there. I'm all in on this technology, and again, I love it. Hey, Drive Safe. We're going to talk a little bit about the railroads, right? We have some a lot of theft going on over in LA.
Well, it wasn't a lot. It's just rampant. 90 cars a day. This is an unbelievable story of just chaos, right? I mean, this right here. Look, derailed because of the garbage on the tracks.
I mean, they're going in there taking tires, they're taking games, they're taking pillows. You'll see stuff thrown all over the place. The UP, I believe this is the UP, saying, you know, we're probably going to have to go around Los Angeles. We're going to have to do something else that's different. There's no, I mean, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, I don't think I've ever quite seen, and they're taking anything and everything that is of value. They're breaking into cars every day. You can't, and you know, there's long stretches of tracks, right? I mean, this isn't, and look how much debris is all along these entire stretches of tracks of them going in, pilfering what they want, and then discarding the rest out on the road. They were cleaning up tires, and they were cleaning up, and look what it's doing. It's derailing the trains because they're just throwing it on the track.
Now that you have the railroads going out there trying to keep it clean, right? Trying to make sure, keep it clean. But how about we don't let them break in? There's one thing. You know, there's nothing more frustrating than seeing your package that you've been waiting on, for months, and it finally comes to the
Here
port,
it is.
right?
It's, hey, wait, I'm 2 days away, and then it says...
running down the street. Why is this running down the alleyway right now?
And then
Why
it
did
says,
my box just get thrown?
It says, now it will be delivered in 31 days.
You got to reorder it.
You got to
Yeah, it's gone. Stolen. And it doesn't matter. They're pilfering through all of that. Man, we've got to get a grasp of this. The boxes as they continue to just pile up. That was a legit concern months ago, this happening.
Yeah, and you look at it, it's not helping the supply chain issue at all when you have trains derailing, busting up tracks, and then cargo not making it to its final destination. Everything about that says continued delays, more problems, and more issues.
Yeah,
and costs for everybody.
We're going to go into that phrase that pays. Before we go there, we the trucking community, we lost a big trucker over the last week. He was America's trucker, right?
Yeah, he was a member of the Trucking Association, and not only that, he was one of on the safety team with Walmart, driving on one of those. They do the challenges all over the United States. In fact, basically what you would call not just a great truck driver, but a skilled driver in what they do. They do some of the most incredible things with those trucks, parking them and backing them and doing them with such precision, and they do it almost with the force. Yeah. I mean, you just got to see them work and watch what they do. It's unbelievable the finite area in which they put these vehicles.
Yeah. Over 3 million miles, safe miles driven out there. Part of American ATA's driver as well. Producer, we have a little clip of it.
This might be a career you might want to choose, but it don't come easy. Let me tell you, you got to have what's called a commercial driver.
Yes, and it's neat to see his passion. He died of cancer, right?
Yeah, he did.
And our prayers go out to the family, to the trucking community. Just a great person with that value of safety. Going out there, focusing much like Corey is, doing things to keep our industry safe. Drive safe, Dave. It is time for that phrase that pays. Are you ready? You got it ready to go? Is your memory there? I know you didn't do well with these abbreviations but talk to me.
All right. That's not what we did.
Let's go with it.
Snow and ice can be bleak. Drive with care, so we don't lose our streak.
One more. We're going to have to do it again because we gave a different one yesterday.
Snow and ice can be bleak. Drive with care, so we don't lose our safety streak.
All right, Drive Safe Dave. So tell us what that means to you.
It is talking about winter weather. It's talking about how we react in winter weather. Slow down. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you know what's going on because we don't want to have an accident out there because of weather conditions and going too fast in those conditions.
Speaking of winter weather, Buckle Up Bob is next with traffic and weather across this United States of America, only on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected. News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong. Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety. One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to BCB Live, the safest, I don't know why I want to put a T in there, producer, the safest station in the nation. It's one of those tongue twisters. Hey, we are going to get you started on some traffic. And so we got a lot here, and I was listening to some local stations. This eastbound lane here on 820 before you hit 35, that is construction traffic. You can expect a 15 to 25 minute delay depending on in which direction you're going, but you are going to have a big backup all the way past Meacham Airport, right? So again, this is going to be about a 5-mile stretch, it looks like, that you have got some major slowdowns. So again, be ready for that. Again, construction coming in on the southbound on 35W, and right here at this merge point, the 121. That's all been under construction as well. So you've got 121 merging into 820 as it comes up to 183. You're going to have some issues there as well. Don't know how to get rid of that, but I think you just touch it, right? Nope. All right. Hey, the DFW area, again, inner city looks pretty congested. 30 passing through. It's going to be a nightmare. Try to avoid it. Take your loops. The loop looks pretty clear. A little bit on the northbound side of 635. We've got some minor delays there, all in all, but not too bad. But stay on the loops. You do not want to be going through downtown Dallas this morning. And then we've got a little bit of a backup on the westbound side from Forney as you come into that 635 loop as well. So our DFW area this morning, we got a little bit of some hot spots, but you can see a lot of green as well. So the loops look pretty clear. That's your best bet this morning in the DFW area. As we go down to Houston, right? Houston looks pretty good. Just typical rush hour traffic this morning. See if I can get that. Oh, got it. You know, it only wants to touch it one time. I got to watch. Be careful. Hey, thank you, producer. Again, the loop looks really clear. You can see it all the way around. Looks good. A little bit of an issue back here on the northeast side. Our west side at that 290 as it comes down into that loop merge point. And what's that highway up there? 249 as well. So between 249 and 290, we have a little bit of an issue this morning in the Houston area. The inner loop looks great. A little bit of a slowdown here. There we go. Houston Heights, Crane Street, Hardy Street. Right up there on the north side of 610 loop, the inside one. The outside loop looks great. So, again, Houston, stay on your loops. That's going to be your best bet no matter what this morning, as it is typically with any major city. As we get into Kansas City looks great as typically always. A little bit of a slowdown here coming in. I don't know what highway that is. 169 as it joins in there right by the near Gladstone. Going to have about a 5-minute backup there. But all in all, it looks great as you go into the Kansas City area this morning. Chicago looks great. Again, wow, Chicago, I don't know what's got into them. They've been pretty good for a couple of weeks now. So again, great job, everybody. A little bit of a issue here at Joliet, but the 80-90 crossing the state line, Indiana and Illinois state line looks good. 88's clear. 80 coming in looks good. 90 both directions. And then going up north, 43 looks good. Coming down from the north southbound looks good as you head into Chicago. 294 loop looks great. I mean, there's just nothing there. So again, Chicago, you guys have a great commute this morning. Atlanta, Atlanta, we could just always, it's amazing that even our nation's capital seems to be better traffic with the two major cities right next to each other in Baltimore and the Washington, D.C. area, right? But Atlanta always seems to have some problems. It has got to be one of the most congested highways and merge points in the country. And you can see it. The loop, other than the southern half, which is usually typically clear, you can see we got problems both directions all the way around the northern half of the loop. 20 coming in eastbound. We've got a problem out here just as you get past Douglasville heading in towards Atlanta. Stonecrest, 20 the other way coming westbound. You got a problem. 85 all the way back to Pleasant Hill, southbound, an issue as well. We even got a problem coming up here, 575 southbound at Woodstock as you approach the 75 split. There's an issue as well. So Atlanta, drivers, I'm sorry, but you're going to need patience. Patience, space, and slow speeds, right? That goes with the patience. When you're patient, you have no problem slowing down. Remember, the loop looks bad, but you must take it. It is a Georgia law. You cannot pass through downtown on 20. You can only go inside the loop if you're delivering inside the loop. If you're not, you must go around this morning, and this morning's going to be a problem for you. Nashville looks good. 24 looks great. Let's zoom in a little bit there. There we go. Wow, it looks really good. 24 usually an issue, not this morning coming up from the south. Got a little bit of north. The merge point here always has some traffic southbound into the Nashville downtown area. A little bit of an issue back over here by this airport on 155. That again is on the southbound side. But all in all, not a bad commute this morning. 40 looks great all the way through. The inner city loop there, 65 looks great. I believe that's the 440 loop there. Or no, I'm sorry, here it is. And so again, you look really good as you go into the Nashville area this morning. And as we talked about the DC Baltimore area, right? Yeah, there's some red as typical. Not too bad, a little bit. Always a problem up here at Parkville and Towson. Looks a little bit of spots in both directions. We do have a little bit of problem coming out of Baltimore, southbound on 95. So we got from Arbutus all the way down here to the loop merge. Let me zoom in, find the highway. Right there at 195 merge point. You can see it all the way to that part. You've got some on the southbound. Again, southbound on 295, we have a little issue near Jessup. Otherwise, your Baltimore area looks good. DC looks like a typical commute. We just got some problem spots. Looks like some stop and go traffic. Always a problem up here. Silver Spring, Delphi, right? Greenbelt, all that area is always got an issue there. So again, just be patient. It looks like it's typical rush hour traffic this morning. Some issues along the inside at Brookmont on both sides of the river there. And then you've also got some on 295 here on the southbound side, on the southbound direction, and it's on the southeastern side of the DC area near Anacostia. And then again, 395 coming into the city, all the way back from Springfield. We've got a slowdown in both directions near Annandale. So again, going to take a little patience, right? A little less speed this morning on your commute in the DC area. As we get to Philadelphia, wow, this is about as bad as this looked for a while. But again, it seems very typical. We have the backup both directions all the way, mainly on the southbound direction, all the way back to King of Prussia this morning. Normally we get to the Conshohocken area, but we are backed up all the way to King of Prussia area this morning. So again, you've got some major delays. This is going to take a lot of patience. Looks like it's probably going to be in that 25 to 30 minute potential delay. So a bunch of stop and go traffic. We have some issues along the river on 95 southbound direction, and then a lot of just spotty areas where you can see the stop and go traffic out here in Marple Township. On the New Jersey side, it looks pretty good. There's just not a whole lot going on the New Jersey side. So if you're coming in from the New Jersey area, you should have a pretty good commute this morning. All right, weather again is going to take precedent, folks. We have got a cold snap, so the big thing is going to be, unfortunately, it's going to be the cold first, and then what we're going to see is that cold front is going to present a lot of opportunities for ice, and this is going to start tomorrow afternoon. So I'm going to kind of show you, let's go with the temperatures first, so I can kind of show you what's going to happen as we go. Today's going to be a nice day. You can see it's going to warm up. Let me get it. There we go, 3 p.m. You can see a little cold in the northeast, a little cold up here in the northwest. But most of the country going to warm up in the 50s. Looks really good, right? Tomorrow morning, it's typical winter, right? Right around freezing in most areas, a little bit of cold spots. And then it warms up a little bit. You can see right here, though, you can see the dark purple starting to move in at 2 p.m., right? St. Louis and all that never gets above freezing. Dallas area hits the 60s, but by 4 p.m., I believe it is their prediction, it's going to start to drop, and you can start to see that Dallas drops 4 degrees. And by 8 p.m., right, we're in the 40s, and you start to see that dark purple come in. We've got some extremely cold temperatures. Already at 8 p.m., it's going to be -1 in Iowa City, -2, right? So we got some extremely cold weather, okay? And then as we go into Thursday, 6 a.m., you can see almost just along the coastlines and the most southern edges of the country, will it be above freezing? Dallas is going to be below freezing Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Iowa City -8, Nebraska 2 degrees, right? And that's not figuring in the wind chills. Look at this, St. Paul, Minnesota, -14. We've got some extremely cold temperatures. I will take you out, and so we'll look in the afternoon, and as you can see, on Thursday afternoon, not going to warm up much, right? Atlanta's going to see 44 degrees as their high, right? And that is just under. New Orleans, under 50 degrees tomorrow. So we've got this cold front. Really, the only place going to be above 60s is going to be over here on the Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina coast, and then again out in California. But other than that, you're just not going to see very warm temperatures. And then we go into Friday. Again, I hate to do this so early, but I just want you to see, and there you can see the cold weather is just grips pretty much the entire country. At 10 a.m., Phoenix is at 48. There are very few areas above 50 degrees on Friday morning. Now, what does that mean? Well, the forecast is this ugly red, pink stuff, purple, whatever color you want to call it. That is freezing rain. It says Charlotte, ice pellets. That's going to be this brown area. So if you're using the windy.com app, down here gives you your menu, if you will. You can see the brown is ice pellets. Freezing rain is this purple. So now I'm going to back you up and see that cold front. Like I said, it starts to come in Wednesday afternoon. 3 p.m., we start seeing ice pellets and freezing rain in southern Missouri, northern corner of Arkansas. So again, this could potentially, this is a forecast, so we got to be very careful on that I-44 corridor running out from Tulsa all the way up to St. Louis on Wednesday. And there, as we go to 7 p.m., you can see it kind of shifts down right there, coming into Arkansas and getting close to Little Rock. You're going to start to see some freezing rain as well. Thursday, here we go, 5 a.m., the morning commute. You can kind of see we've got freezing rain and ice pellets and going to push through that Nashville area, and we're going to see it in the heart of Tennessee, stretching down into Alabama and parts of Mississippi. That freeze line is going to be right there. Again, this is forecast, so you got to realize that probably within 100 miles of this line, anything's possible. As we start to get in Thursday afternoon, it kind of shrinks, turns to snow and rain. For the most part, it's just little spots. But then Friday, boom, as I was saying, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, right, Atlanta, that's 8 a.m. And if we move it out, it starts to really get bigger with the ice pellets. So again, the Carolinas and northern Georgia, going to be a big issue come Friday. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. Be right back with some safety.
Welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. All right, buckle up, Bob. Talk to us. What's your opinion on no-cell technology?
Loved it. Just loved it. I mean, that is, we've actually gone through some assessments, and one of the things that was recommended is make sure that your distracted driving program doesn't just focus on the cell phone. And so I loved everything that they've got on there that you can, the apps, all the stuff that can, just help drivers, assist drivers, and, we're all human. We all have these desires that we just can't put aside, and technology can help us do that.
Yeah, and again, we can't control the four-wheeler. At the end of the day, I mean, all we can do is control ourselves. So yeah, if you're driving a full four-wheeler, you can control your actions, and what that technology does, and is this Drive Safe Dave is the probably the greatest thing that I got out of this is the realization that you're not putting it on the truck driver. What you're doing is allowing that truck driver, that four-wheeler, whoever has that technology, the Amazon company, that ability to stay focused on the other folks that are distracted, right? Yes, you're taking away a distraction, but you're giving that person that opportunity to be more aware of all of the distractions that all of those daggum trucks and four-wheelers have out there. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's giving you that ability to do that. Buckle up, Bob, as we go into safety now. I know you're talking about accident reporting and procedures.
Yes, we are. And one of the most important things that drivers tend to want to do, if in minor incidents, they don't want to report them, or they'll work out a deal. Other drivers will try to do that too. And so what I wanted to make sure is everybody understands out there, you must always call the police. Protect yourself, protect your company, right? Because what you may or may not realize is these accidents, they can file up a claim in most states. I looked at a lot of the states. Every state's got different statutes of limitations. Most of them allow claims to be filed up to 2 years. The actual range between states, they say, goes from 1 year to 10. There are some states out there that allow you 10 years to file a claim. So what you got to do is, again, it makes it harder. Obviously, the longer they wait to file a claim, it does make it harder to prove. But when you've got that police report and you've got the police out there, you have all that data. So no matter what they try to do down the road, you have protected yourself against liability and your company. And so just no matter how small, you call the police and call your company. Let them know, right? There's things that your company can do to protect you, to put things in motion, the wheels in motion, to start preserving evidence, if you will, whatever it takes to make sure that they can defend you if something happens a year from now, that you have all this data written.
Yeah, so whether you're an independent contractor or you work for as a company driver, these are things that we want to think about. And you always want to put, especially on the company side, you want to call that into your company.
Yes.
No matter, let them make that call, right? Let them make that call, whether they want to call the police out. If you hit a pole, they may have their own policy on that. If you hit a mirror on a car, though, and there's somebody in it, 90% of the time, they're going to follow the procedures of an accident, because you'd be amazed of how many mirrors, you know, a four-wheeler had, that you just clip the mirror and the next thing you know, their back's hurting.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
you don't know that, and that's the importance of reporting timely, is to get all that information timely, because it does help fight those BS claims, right? Where it just morphs into something else. But make sure you're doing your part.
I
and
know that acronym.
Yeah, there you go. He knows that one. Go figure. Matter of fact, I think he said one of the words on air, you know, earlier today. But we forgive and forget.
Do we?
Forgive and
Do
forget.
we forgive? I'm not sure about the
BCB
forget.
Live, it's all about the forgiveness. Let's go into some videos here.
Yes. Hey, this first one, great job by this driver, right? Slowing down, keeping the space. Just tremendous job here. Just being patient, right? No chance of an accident there. I mean, that we could be, or this driver could be involved in, right? And if there was one ahead, a lot of opportunity to avoid and react.
Anybody else think that car to the left was going to run into the truck?
I did. The first time I had to watch it twice. I was like, is he cutting him off? I was like, yep, that one was deceiving a little bit. Now here, you know, you see that car making 2 or 3 lane changes, right? What I want to say is this is a really good job of keeping the space. But, you know, we want to be, they're safer and safest. So one of the things we look at, again, trying to educate drivers, and I just want the drivers to know, what happened here was, you know, you see this happening, there was no slowdown. There was no speed up, and the space was still there, but you don't know what's going to happen. You see this guy jumping 3 or 4 lanes, maybe get out of that gas, give yourself a little bit more space. Again, you've only got about a second and a half here, and you want to add that 2 to 3, almost 3 seconds to have a chance in case something goes wrong. Now, this driver did a really good job. I'm not beating up the driver. Just say, hey, what can you do to even get a little bit better? Give yourself that extra second edge. There was no slowdown here for 10 to 15 seconds after this.
Yeah, and to what Bob's saying is, hey, this is BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation. We're not a safe station in the nation. And we talk about trying to make it even safer on the road and doing what you can to make it the safest, not just safe.
Yes.
I mean, I was looking at this car. Not only does it have a brake light out, I'm not even sure that it has I think maybe it even has a turn signal. Maybe the turn signal's out, because I don't see either it's the turn signal's out or the guy never uses it. But he's got basically, I'm not sure if that was just because he's braking against he's got a brake light out over there. So weird stuff going on there. This guy obviously did a pre-trip.
Yep. And here, love the courtesy here. What you'll notice is that truck there in the center lane has his 4-ways on to warn everybody to slow down, right? Speeds are under 50 miles an hour by the driver in the video here. Just, that is great. You got the busy merge point, right? The big city there. And you've got a vehicle in the middle lane saying, hey, there's a problem because vision is blocked. Love to see that courtesy by other trucking carriers as well.
Yes, sir. And we want to make sure that the four-wheelers, you know, the young kids, that when they see a truck out there with the hazards on like that, Drive Safe Dave, in the big city, it often means they're trying to warn others of something up ahead, right?
It's not just in the big city. It's anywhere on the highway. They can do brake checks anywhere. Truck drivers will throw in their hazards whenever they see a slowdown, just so that it gets everybody's attention. And a lot of the times, just that simple hazards flashing will get people off of their gas and get their foot hovering over the brake, which is very, very important.
And here, you know, man, we talk a lot, and I want to kind of go back about a month ago. We, great job of this driver. We talked about aggressive driving, and the best form of avoiding accidents and aggressive driving is yield the right of way versus take it. And you can see this four-wheeler comes in there and is going to take the right of way, and the driver yields it.
Yeah, I mean, what makes this car the Ford Expedition thinks he can muscle a big truck? You know, I mean, come on. You know, it's like the Chihuahua going up to the Doberman. But you know what? The driver once again did a good job. You know what? Let him in. You know, whatever he's doing is way more important than the rest of the world. So let him in. You did it. Great job. Packed the patience. You know, packed courtesy. Showed, you know, and what an example that was. Because drive safe. If that driver doesn't do this, only bad things can happen. Maybe that expedition gets the driver that gets angry, gets mad, comes up, cuts him off, starts doing the brake check game again. But he just alleviated all of that by letting him in.
Yeah, courtesy goes a long way out there on the road, however you can put it. And this is just a great example of it. And I see it out there on the road each and every day, everybody doing. You don't always get to see it on a video, but I sure would like to see more courtesy on videos that we get to see, just to show how important it is and what goes on here. Because, like you said, Rick, you never know what the temperament of the guy in the other vehicle is, or what kind of day he's having and his snapping point.
Yeah, and I wonder when I think about the courtesy, showing these videos, that's a good thing. And how many hours a day of film do we have if we just film this office of courtesy?
It would be nonstop. It would be just nonstop. In fact, this would probably make the annals of history if we basically showed video of Sir Rick in the hallways, muscling through, making sure everybody had space. It's pretty good.
It's about courtesy. We practice it here in the office. We want to encourage you to practice it out there on the road. Love one another much. What we do here, we practice it on the show, and we practice in our life and in the office as well. It's all about love. Buckle up, Bob. Can you agree with that?
I sure can.
Drive safe, Dave.
I am all in.
All in on love. BCB, it's more about love. Buckle up, Bob. You want to close us out with a prayer?
Sure will. Heavenly Father, Lord, we're talking about love one another, and Lord, let us yield that right away and love the fellow drivers out there. Not all of us deserve it, as we've seen in some of those videos, but we thank you so much for the patience that you've given the drivers, the growth, Lord, that they protect life in all their decisions. Heavenly Father, we ask that you continue to bless this company with the wisdom to make those life-protecting decisions. Thank you, Lord, for this radio station to reach others and to make everyone protect life and make the road safer out there. Lord, thank you for each and every driver. We appreciate them. We are so thankful that you have granted them the opportunity to work for this company. It is in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back this afternoon for BCB Live. If you're here and you stay tuned for your local news for your own BCB station. Drive safe, Dave. We'll see you this afternoon. God bless, take care, and love one another.